This is one of the most beautiful pizzas you're ever gonna eat. It is a pizza impala. It's light, it's crispy, and it's melts in your mouth, Vincenzo. You are going to be blown away.
Oh, I can't wait. Come on, show us.
Oh, have a listen to this. That crispiness. This is the, listen. That is the glorious crisp of pizza impala. I can't wait for you to try this at home. Okay guys, I'm so excited to do this tutorial today on pizza romana because I've actually fallen in love with this product. So today we're going to use, this is the first stage, so there's a two-step process in making this fabulous product. So today we make a biga or a pre-fermented dough, and then tomorrow we do a rinfresco or a refresher. We then add the remaining ingredients that we require to finish off our pizza in impala, and then we only let it rise for another 2 to 3 hours. Now, there's a bit of timing that we really need to understand here. The timing is all about the biga needing to be anywhere between the 16 to maximum 18 hours. Now the reason for this is we don't want it to go beyond the 18 hours because then it becomes a little bit acidic. Now there is ways to sort of fix that. You know, we can use a little bit of malt, we can use a little bit of sugar, but we don't want to do that. We want to try and keep it as natural as possible. So the ingredients for this is this beautiful flour that I've absolutely fallen in love with, because you're going to see a lot of me using this flour now with the new concept that I'm bringing out. So this is Ciabatta Romana. This is I can't explain how much I love this product. So we're going to use a kilo of that to do the Rinfresco, or to do the biga, sorry. We're going to use 600 mils of water, and here we've got about 7 grams of dry yeast. This is really simple and this is really quick. If you've got a mixer at home, now this, unfortunately, this is one of the hardest doughs to make by hand. You can't really make this dough by hand. You do need some type of mixer. Now, doesn't matter what type of mixer you have. If you've got a hook on a mixer, it's the best way, or the best one to use. What we're going to do is we're just going to add all the ingredients into the bowl. Now, the first thing we want to do is the water and the yeast, and just turn the mixer on. Give that a bit of a mix so that the yeast and the water can, you know, sort of start to marry up. So you let this spin probably for about, no more than 30 seconds is fine. And at this stage, we're going to add all the flour, all at once. You start to see the flour and the water amalgamate. It's going to look quite dense, and that's what we want when we're creating the pre-ferment or the biga. Now, as you can see, the dough now is going to start to form, and what we want to be left with is a clean bowl. That's so important. We want to be left with a nice, clean surrounding around the mixing bowl. We've been mixing for about 7-8 minutes. It's ready. Okay, so before we place our dough into the container, just put a little bit of oil. So this way it's easy for the dough to come out tomorrow. Okay, fantastic. There we go. So we've got the dough into our container. And at this stage, what we do is we glad wrap. Now, I know I say don't glad wrap dough. You've probably seen that in other videos, but I'm not going to actually glad wrap the dough. I'm going to glad wrap the container so that it can become airtight. It's really, really important, especially when we're making a biga, that we make the container as airtight as possible. Also, another handy tip, I normally write down the time. So if we have a look, time is 10:30, and I stick the sticker exactly at the volume of where the dough is currently. Now, the reason why I do this is so that tomorrow I can see where my volume, ends up. We got the magic here.
What's happening here, man?
So yesterday, you remember when we made the biga?
Yes.
All right, so this is the result of the biga, and if you can remember from the previous, the previous video, we put a sticker where we started the actual, or where the Biga, the size of it was. Now you can see that it's grown, you know, pretty much doubled. And that's what we want to get. But this is where we can reveal now whether, you know, the pre-ferment or the Biga is ready to be used, or if it's gone too far, because it can. And this is where, you know, that fine line of refrigeration. That's why I put it in the fridge straight away, so we can preserve it as much as we can. So when we open this, I want you to give it a smell.
Yes.
If it's too acidic, then we didn't do our job properly.
Why? What does happen? Because it happened to me once. Actually, I was in Italy and I used fresh yeast.
Yes.
And the smell was
very
strong.
So that means that the dough has gone too far. So it becomes acidic. It's over fermented. You know, and it loses its colors. It loses its sugar, because the yeast has its own natural sugars. And this is what we've done here. So let's open this up.
Nice.
Oh, have a smell of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So fresh.
Right.
So fresh.
Right.
Yeah. How much do you love this?
No, but I love it. I love it. So no burning in the nostril.
Yeah,
that's a really good indicator. So if you actually smell it and it gives you this sort of burning sensation, that means it's gone, far too gone.
This is delicate.
This is delicate. It's got a nice sweetness to it.
Yes.
Like it's got that nice sweet smell. The next step in this is obviously how do we make our finished dough. Okay, now to finish off this this dough, so we're going to make the pizza impala. We've got our Biga that we made yesterday. As we can see, we've got about 1.5 gram of yeast, 25 grams of salt, about another 25 to 30 grams of oil, and we've got about 340 grams of flour. And we've got about 430 grams of water.
So Johnny, you're the Le Cinque Stagioni ambassador, so of course you use the right flour for this. But for me, they go to the shop, what type of flour do I look for this?
Look, to do a pizza impala, we want to have something that has a very high protein content.
Yes.
You know, so if we're talking in W, maybe anywhere up to about 360 to 380.
Okay.
We want something that's going to hold strong and be quite elastic.
So I would say at 0 flour is the same.
0 and try and get a high protein flour.
12, 13 grams. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So the first thing we want to do is let's put our Biga straight into the mixing bowl, just like that. This is where we can just add the flour straight in. And we can also add our yeast straight into the bowl. And we're going to start this off on slow speed for now, just until we start absorbing all the added flour. And we're going to add half of the water on slow speed. Now, just remember, if you're using a mixer, try and add the water in the center of the dough. We want to make sure that it's absorbing everything, all the flour's being absorbed correctly by the water. So just add a little bit of water as we go. Want to keep the dough intact so that the water is absorbed, but we're not splitting the dough. This is really important. You know, avoid putting all the water in, and then what happens is the dough becomes a slush and it just all starts to fall apart, and then it struggles to amalgamate again. What we want to do is just a little bit at a time, absorb a little bit at a time, absorb a little bit at a time, and absorb. And this is the key behind all of this. Now, as you can see, it's starting to clean up the bowl, and that's what we're talking about. See how it's absorbing all that flour? And again, a little bit of water, just like that. Now we're on about half at the moment, so I'm going to allow this to absorb. And this is when we're gonna go into second speed. The second speed is important because when we got a high hydration dough, if we don't have a mixer that has variable speed, what will happen is the water will find really difficult to, or the dough will find really difficult to absorb the water, and again making the dough collapse. We don't want that to happen. So on high speed, slowly inputting the water and just allowing it all to absorb nicely. All right, now this is where we start bringing up the speed of the dough, and this is where the magic happens. but again, adding really, really slow. Little bit at a time. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the structure together. As I add water, you see the dough wants to try and collapse. I'm avoiding that by not adding too much at a time. This is really important. This is a really important step. Now you're gonna start hearing some popping. This is the sound of love. That's what I say, because it starts to pop, and that's when we know that the dough is starting to really come together and it's aerating. That's what we want. Sorry, I get so excited about this. I love it. I absolutely love this. Okay, so now I've added all the water. I'm going to allow now this to absorb. Once we've absorbed that, we're going to add the oil, and really important point, we add the salt last in this this type of dough. The reason for this, because it's so hydrated, if we add the salt early, what will happen is, because the dough is so hydrated, it will expel the moisture. We don't want that to happen, because it's so moist, this dough, that the salt actually extracts the moisture. So what we do is we put it at the end, we mix for another 30 seconds or so, and that's it, we're done. So just remember, guys, it's oil and then salt always last when we're doing high hydration doughs. Again, adding the oil nice and slow. Everything at this stage, you can start seeing now how soft this dough is. You can start seeing it in the mixer. It's really, really soft. Okay, at this stage is where we can add the salt now, and we're at our final stages. All right. Okay.
Nice.
Please have a feel and watch what happens to your hands. Whoa!
It's sticky.
Right?
Yeah.
Really sticky, yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that. It's like water.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so at this stage, what we do is we let it relax a little bit for about 5 minutes in the bowl,
Yeah.
and then we take it out to rest, and we'll let it rest again in a cylinder or something that is high.
Yeah.
Yep. And we will wait until it doubles in size, and we can use it on the same day. It's ready to go.
Okay, so doubling the size is the way.
Doubling in size,
the
and
way,
then
yeah.
and then what we do is we will go back and we'll make our preparation for our dough balls.
Come on, let's do it.
Guys, as you can see, Vincenzo touched the dough and it's very, very sticky, right? So again, we don't want to rip the product out of the bowl. We want to cut with our hands, and the best way to take the dough out of this bowl is by using a little bit of water on your hands, because if you don't, you'll find that all your hands will be just full. It will be like spider webs. Like you look like what's his name's Spider-Man, because you got all these sort of things coming off your hands. So just not really easy. Just, you know, dampen your hands with a bit of water, and we pick up and we squeeze up. Squeeze. Okay, so we're going to cover this now with some Glad wrap just over the top, and then we'll come back to it. So we want to allow the dough to rise now up to around there. Okay, so we're back and we're going to start making our dough balls for the pizza impala. Now, a couple of things that you're going to need is a scale. You're going to need at least a container with some either spolverina or fine semolina. We put this on the scale. We tar this so it's at 0, and we're going to make our dough balls about 500 grams, and we're going to place it straight into the container, and from there we're going to fold our dough ball up. So just get the dough directly onto the bench. As you can see, it's very, very liquidy, and we'll cut a portion of this and place it straight into the container. Try not to get the top wet. Now that's about 500 grams, and from here what we do is we're going to fold the dough into each other to make a dough ball. Just like that. Now as we do this, we then pick it up and we place it straight into our container and just flip it. Now, you notice that I'm using a container that is shallow and wide. I'm not using a dough bucket to put it in. Now, you can use a dough bucket, but this makes it much easier when you want to turn it onto the bench. If you want to use a dough bucket, you'll have to turn the whole dough bucket over to get all the product out. Now, just remember to tar your scale every time you use it, because you're obviously taking product out. Okay, so once you've finished your dough balls, we'll cover that with a lid. We'll put our dough now to rest. We're going to let it rest until it nearly doubles in size, and then we're ready to cook our pizza impala. Okay guys, when we're cooking the pizza impala, remember that our oven temperature needs to be anywhere between 280 to about 295, 300. If you want to cook it in a wood-fired pizza oven, you can. What you need to do is get the oven hot around that 320, 330 degrees, and then let the fire just die out. So what you're doing is you're pretty much cooking the pizza impala in static heat, and you get an awesome result. And for those of you who are cooking the pizza impala at home, put your pizza stone in the oven, crank it up to the highest temperature you can possibly get. Fan force is good, and you should be able to cook the pizza within 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, here we are. So we can see, look how liquidy this product is. Beautiful. So remember earlier on I said let's put them into containers so we can get it out easier. This is the reason why we do it. So we flour the top, we then turn the container onto the bench really quickly, just like that, and we have the dough now facing with the bottom on the top. Now at this stage what we need to do is we need to stretch it. Remember, because this dough is so hydrated, it's very minimal touching. So what we do is we start from the top, and our fingers have to be pointed like that. So we start from the top here, and we just press down just like that.
You got the edges too.
And the edges, and just one more time, try and get rid of any bubbles.
Punches allowed.
No punching, just poking. Now at this point we need to get it onto the peel, so we need to do a quick movement onto the arm, and we've got to flick as much flour off as we can. So we normally use a wooden peel, but today we got also a metal peel. But at home, if you want to cook this type of pizza in the oven at home, what I would suggest is get yourself a wooden chopping board, and you can make these pizzas just the size of your chopping board. You don't have to make them as big as what I'm making it. And then you do the same process, same technique on the chopping board, and then place it onto a stone in your electric oven. These pizzas will come out amazing in an electric oven at home. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's get this onto the peel. So what we do is we first transfer over onto our arm, and I give it a slap there, right? I then bring it over onto my other arm, slap, slap. Now we place the pizza onto the peel, and this is where we can now fix it to our liking, and we're going to go and transfer this into our oven. Put a little bit of tomato if you want to put tomato. I like to just put oil, and then I like topping this pizza after, and then re-putting it back into the oven to cook whatever ingredients that I would like. There we go. In Rome, this what they do is they pre-bake the pizzas, then they take them out, and then they top when people want a pizza with certain toppings, or they pre-top and then reheat. The pizza is divine. We've got a beautiful pizza impala, so light, so crispy. If you can hear that crisp, oh yeah, unbelievable. Let's have a try about this, Vincenzo. This is what we call pizza impala. Wow, look at that.
What are you trying to achieve here, Johnny?
That's
like
our
a
structure.
Look.
This is pizza impala, like it's not so much a focaccia, it's still a pizza. But Vincenzo, when you try this, you're gonna feel like you are in heaven. This is heaven. So what we're going to do is I've cut it in half because we're going to use this product for two things. One, I'm going to top the top because some people just want to have some nice topping on the top.
Some mortadella or
Plain mortadella.
you're gonna put that fresh burrata right on top now.
Yep. Little bit of lemon zest. Just bring the flavors out of the burrata. Beautiful. A very good friend of mine told me the zest makes the flavors come to life.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh my goodness!
Huh?
Holy moly!
Huh?
On top,
And we can do the same, or you can put whatever you like inside,
like a panino.
like a panino. Ecco, nice burrata. And this one here, Vincenzo, we do something a little bit different because normally people do mortadella, burrata and
And
pistachio.
yes.
We're gonna do some beautiful almonds.
Ooh,
Huh?
almond and mortadella.
Beautiful.
You do the right thing because in Toscana people call that schiacciata.
Schiacciata.
Schiacciata Toscana.
Yeah. Look at that creamy burrata. Wow.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, baby.
Priceless.
Enjoy.
Johnny, this is the best time of the video recipe, Johnny. You know why? We get to eat it.
Beautiful.
Roman pizza. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bring me all the way from to Rome. We're in Melbourne, but I feel like in Rome already. Crispy, crunchy, but soft.
And fresh. You feel that lemon zest come right through the product. Oh,
This is incredible. Do you prefer this or Napolitan pizza?
two completely different pizzas, but I love them both equally.
I think this is a little bit more detailed in this, maybe. It's a bit more complicated than Napolitan, do you think?
Maybe a little bit more dough management.
But then it's easier to cook.
Dough management skills, but it's easy to cook.
Easier to cook,
Yeah.
which is what everyone
Yes.
struggles. In
And
the-
you can cook
in the
this at
electric
home.
oven, yeah.
You can cook this at home and you will get some of the best pizza you've ever eaten in your life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Johnny.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Always love to have Johnny here. Johnny from Gradi. Please come and see him. Melbourne. You're in Dallas. Yeah, a Gradi in Dallas. I want to go to Dallas. Is it nice?
It's beautiful.
We
I
should
love
go.
Texas.
Take me there.
Hello to all the Texans. Can't
would-
wait to see you in August.
Do you put brisket on the pizza?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but you never know.
Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next Vincenzo's Plate video recipe. It will be with Johnny or Lucio, we'll see. E ora si mangia. Pizza in pala by Johnny's Plate.